Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a Jamaican living in the Netherlands for the past 14 years. Please feel free to subscribe, share, and check out my links. My life in the Netherlands.
What is my plan for today? My plan for today is to talk about crazy things that has happened to me since I've been living in the Netherlands. Okay, since I've been here, I've found myself in quite a few unpleasant situations. Okay, crazy thing number one, I actually have five for today. After my daughter was born, I was very busy with her because she was premature, and so her granddad came one day and he said, I think it's time for you to do something nice. And I was like, what? And he said, well, tomorrow is Usinse Dag. Now, that's a village, that's what the Dutch people call it. It's a village that is close to where I'm living, about 10 minutes. And I've heard about this type of celebration almost every year. Um, the village is celebrating, it's like a kickoff, a big festival kicking off the 4 days, what you will call that now in English. It's the 4 days marathon of riding bicycle. So there are riders that comes together in Nijmegen. That's another city that is not far from where I'm living. And they would ride their bikes and it's a marathon. So it's a big celebration and I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I never went. So he was like, okay, I think you should go. And I was like, and I want to take you. And I said, okay, I don't really want to go. And then I was going back and forth. And then I said, I'll meet you there. And he said, well, I don't think you're going to come. You're going to want to stay with Talina. So I'll come and get you. So that was to make sure that I go. So, okay. I went back and forth with myself all night. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go there. And then in the morning, I finally decided, oh, I'm going to go. So he came and he got me at 1 and I got there. And when I got there, I was pleasantly surprised. It brought back a lot of memories for me. It reminded me of going to the city when I was living in Jamaica with my childhood best friend to celebrate Christmas because there was music on almost every street and it was very festive and very nice. And so it was the same thing here in Houston. There was calypso music on one street, there was reggae music on another street, there was Dutch music on another street, there was rap, American rap and Dutch rap on another street. There was also salsa dancing. It was full. And I've come to realize that more than 30,000 people, anything between 30 to 35,000 people actually visit this place on this day to celebrate. So I wanted to stay at the reggae direct section of it, but Peter didn't understand much of what was going on when it comes to the language barrier, and I understand more Dutch, so we went to the Dutch section. Quite boring, not my thing, but it was still nice and festive and full of people. Now, Dutch people are quite organized and they normally follow the rules and regulation. So there was a big sound stage and there was also a lot of tables. There were people drinking beers and dancing and having fun. And then there was like an open, say you call that open floor for people to just come and dance. So after a while, there would be like 50 people dancing or more than 50 because it was a lot. And for some songs, it was very little. At one point, there was about 8 women dancing. And then at some point, some of the music that was playing, I think it applies to line dancing because that's the best way I can describe it because they were holding each other hands and just dancing and going around. And then I don't know what happened, but there is a Dutch song that started playing, and I believe it was the chorus of the song. It goes like la 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 la. And so the women, they were doing that. And I was just there looking and minding my own business. And just the craziest thing just happened to me. This lady that was in that line broke out of the line and she took off running in the open section where it was the dance floor across women, men, table, and beer. And she came up to me, she grabbed me by my face. I never saw it coming. And this woman kissed me. I'm serious. This woman that I don't know from Adam, Eve's nowhere. She just kissed me. I was so shocked. When I said I was shocked, I almost peed on myself and collapsed. I couldn't believe it. I was completely confused. My daughter granddad realized that I was out of it. I was completely out of it. And so he held me and I said, yeah, Peter, I think I'm going to fall. And when I look, this woman started walking away backwards. And as she was walking away, she started shouting out as if we know each other, I love you. I love you. La, 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 la. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is she serious? I asked Peter, I said, Peter, what just happened? And Cedar looked at me and he said, she kissed you. I said, I know, I don't get it. Is this legal? And he was like, well, I think she has too much to drink. And I said, too much to drink? This lady, she ran as if she was Merlin Otti. She ran across the empty dance floor, passing women, passing men, tables and beer, and she just grabbed my face and I said to Peter, she assaulted me. And he looked at me, was like, Belinda, calm down. And I was like, she assaulted me. And he said, well, she had too much to drink. I said, but she assaulted me. That woman, she lip raped me. And he was looking at me as if I was crazy. And I was thinking, I'm fully staying. She assaulted me. She lip raped me. And just a few streets away, I saw some police. I'm going to press charges for lip rape. And he was like, just let it go. She had too much to drink. And I was like, if it was a man that just run across the dance floor and did that, would it be acceptable? And he was like, well, it would be a little bit more of a challenge, but yeah, it's a woman. I was like, I'm not against homosexuality or whatever, but you are not allowed to lip rape me. You are definitely not allowed to lip rape me, so it can't be. So I was very serious and I wanted to do something about it. And he was like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. So then I was like, okay, I want to go home. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to be lip raped anymore. She assaulted me and I really don't like it because I don't know her from Adam's or Eve's. And I have never been kissed by a woman before. I am not interested in being kissed by a woman. She just went way over the line. Now, over the years, when I've shared this information, I've come to realize that it happened more often that, there are women that can't handle alcohol and they would do stuff like that. Perfect example why I don't even drink, because it makes my head hurt. And who knows, I may just go off and do something that crazy. So I think if you're having trouble with alcohol, maybe you should not drink. You should not be going off drinking and kissing a perfect stranger. So from that day, I don't go back to that celebration and I rarely go to that village because that's what the Dutch people call it, a village. I stay away from that. Okay, another situation I've had, I was at school and I was learning the Dutch language and we got a few words and we were supposed to build a story around those words. Well, one of the words I got was doos. And in English, that would be box. But if you don't know what you're doing, you will use the word wrongly because it also has the meaning for that word is also vagina. So when I built my story and I read my story out, and then I looked at my professor, I saw that he was like flabbergasted, his mouth dropped. So I asked what happened. And apparently, the woman that I was talking about in my story, I said the woman have a huge vagina. Um, while he understand the whole situation, because it's not like I mastered the language, I was maybe 5 months in, he thought it was a joke. So he went from being completely shocked to started laughing, and then he went to the canteen, or I don't know, the office where other teachers are, and he decided to share it. I think he think it was a nice joke. And so for the rest of the day, all the teachers that came in, they kept repeating that same sentence, and I was not happy with it. So I called my case manager, that's someone that is responsible for organizing the school and everything, and I told her that I wasn't happy, and she was like, let it go, you're learning the language and you're going to make mistake, and it happened more often. They didn't mean anything, they just think it was think it was just fun to just keep saying it. Well, I actually never thought it was anything funny. Just let me know that the word was used wrongly. The context that it was in, it wasn't an appropriate one. And to be more careful with the word dose, it's that simple. Okay. Another situation I got myself into. We went to Spain on vacation for 2 weeks. And in the Netherlands, the sea here is darker. But in Spain, it looks like what we have in Jamaica, blue and pretty. So I got there, and after years of not being to the beach, and when I did went, I just sat on the sand and never did anything because it's so dark, and I'm not used to it. I don't like it. In my head, it's dirty, but it's not. It's just my head. So when I saw the beautiful beach in Spain, just remember that I can swim a little bit, not a lot. I just took off running like a crazy person into the water, and I jumped in. And when I jumped in, I just went down. But I couldn't believe it. I went down. I was trying to come up once. It didn't work. I was just trying again. It wasn't working. And then Renee, he just grabbed me and he just took me out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm dying. So that is something that if you're not a good swimmer and you don't know anything about the beach in another country or other beaches, just don't run in. Because I assume, because in Jamaica, it gets deeper as you go along. So I assume it was the same structure. I'm just gonna, as I go along, it's gonna get deeper, but it wasn't like that. I just went down, whoop, just like that. So that was a confusing situation I found myself into. And I was like, that's it. I've had enough of crazy things. I'm going to stay in the hotel. I'm much safer here. For the rest of the trip, I did not leave the hotel. I wasn't interested in leaving the hotel. I was so scared I'm going to get myself into another disaster because I already don't speak Spanish. So I don't need any more trouble. So I just stayed there. Okay. I did find myself in trouble again. I got lost. I went to church in the evening, and I was new here, and I took the wrong bus to church. And I stopped off at the wrong place. And I was going around in the middle of the winter for almost 45 minutes because the buildings all look the same and it's darker. I was just going around in circle and going through the same neighborhood over and over and over again. I couldn't call anyone because I also forgot my telephone. Not a good idea. New in a country, please walk with a phone. Out of nowhere, I saw two girls talking, and I was looking at them and I said, "Oh, I think these girls speak English because they're Moroccans, and I've always met Moroccans that speak English." So I just walk up to them and I explain my situation. "Oh, I'm completely lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been walking around for a while now. As you can see, my clothing is very good. I have good quality clothing on for the winter, so I'm pretty much safe, but I don't know how long I can hold on because I'm starting to feel the cold here and there." And so I asked if I could use their phone to make a call, and I made the call. I called my mother-in-law. And the craziest part of getting lost in Persicath was that I was walking around the building that she lived in for hours and didn't realize it, because actually this building is very big and I was at the back of the building and not the front of the building that I was used to. So when I tell her that I'm lost, I don't know where I am, and she started telling me, "Stop looking at my height, start to look up in the air and describe the buildings that I was seeing." So I started describing the building, and then she said, "I'm gonna wave." And she started waving, and I couldn't believe I was so close to her the entire time, and yet so far for about 45 minutes. So that was my lesson about not leaving my phone and to just always travel with it. A next problem I've had since I've lived there was I went to a swimming pool and it had a slide. Now, I did my evaluation because of what happened in Spain. I did my evaluation and it looks fine, it looks quite safe. But something seems to went wrong, and it didn't went wrong on my side. I think the guy who was giving us the direction on where to go, it's like it have three different slides, and he gave me the direction to go on the slide at the deeper end and not the one I estimated coming down. I didn't realize that also going up that the thing was going in three different directions. So I went down and I came down on the deepest end, completely the deepest end. But when I came down, I actually came down so fast that I came down on the person who was in front of me. So I landed on that person back, and that was when I realized this thing is way deeper than what I thought it would be, and I'm completely on the other side. So it was a guy. I just grabbed onto him and I said, "Help me." So he's very good at swimming, it looks like. So he just helped me because I wasn't far away from somewhere that I could hold on to when I get there. So those are crazy things that have happened to me since I've lived there. I almost drowned twice. Use those in the wrong way. Then I got lost in the middle of winter without a phone. And last but not least, I was kissed by a woman I completely don't know when I went to Usisadag to celebrate. Bye, guys.